by tradition.
Hold
And
tight.
that is hold tight the 3-point collectors.
Next thing, Tottenham are whipping boys for Liverpool. You lot ain't beat us in Haaland. So look at your face. So when I they forget about when the council was gonna take the free.
Oh, for real? When there was a little car park out front. Let's talk about sex, baby.
Let's hold
Liverpool. And as much as we can talk about Mane is a good player, Salah's a good player, they're just not the X factor, bro. Don't forget about it.
Boom! Welcome back to another episode of Stoppage Time TV. Live in the flesh, live and direct in effect. You already know what time it is. Culture comes to my left, FDD to my right, birthday FDD to my right. So please, before we go any further, just pause this video, drop him a happy birthday, and after you do that, like, share, subscribe. Honestly, loving the engagement, loving the comments. We see it, we feel everything. So keep going. It's going to help us keep propelling and keep pushing us forward. So thank you for all of that. Subscribe, notifications on as well. Go and give 5 stars on the audio. You can do likes. You can't rate the channel on YouTube, innit? You can't do that stuff.
No,
do that.
just like
but
the
just, you know, send it to your people. Keep pushing the Stoppage Time flag, innit? Without further ado, you already know what we're here for. Bank holiday weekend. We're giving you content still. We're not lacking. We're here. Some of us have come from being outside. Some of us are still going outside. Some of us have families to be with, but we're giving this prime content. So you know what time it is. Please respect us. But as it is, I said ASMR, you know. I said tap. I said tap your mic. Without further ado, hold tight the 3-point collectors. This is the first time this season where everyone's collected 3 points in the row.
Oh, listen, this is going to be enjoyable.
It's not an easy league, man. It's not an easy league. Listen, we may not have this again. You got to cherish it.
Revelation today.
You got Revelation?
Boy.
Scriptures.
You got one for Cam?
Yeah. Bournemouth and that. Trying to turn, and Nottingham Forest are trying to turn the Prem into the Bundesliga.
Nah, Bournemouth just ain't good enough for the Premier League. They shouldn't be in the Premier League. They're just not good enough. But Nottingham Forest, they played well today.
Nah, you see, that's the
played
problem.
They did.
Yeah, we'll start there. We'll start there. Production, just so...
No,
give your reason as to why you're saying that.
They gave a Conte Spurs
team
a very, very
let
good
production
game.
give his reason as to why.
Like we were saying off air. They come.
It was on air, but you know.
They come from the champ playing champagne ball, popping everyone where it works there because they got players that are better than that level. When they come to the Prem, they're gonna do this, get called courageous by Sky Sports panel, then lose next week.
Yeah, but I think with Bournemouth, man, they didn't even invest in the team, bro. Like Bournemouth, everyone can see they're the weakest team in the Premier League on paper.
Their strike force is Kiefer Moore. They didn't
invest, bro. Like Fulham invested. Nottingham Forest are getting £45 million players, bro. Lingard, they've invested. Dennis, they signed 16 players. 19 players, but Bournemouth, bro, imagine that. And this is what I'm saying, the strength of the Premier League. Man are going from Atletico Madrid to Nottingham Forest. But what other league would you ever would you see that in any other league?
No.
That imagine a player right now going from Chelsea to Getafe or something. Like, bro, you know what I mean?
He's
like
a favourite athletic.
But this is why. What did you call it?
Once you fall out,
so I call it the Barclays Super League. You call it Premier League Super.
Premier League Super. PLS.
Listen, it's a different thing. But on what production's saying, for me, it's like, let's say you're an Enzy and you're going out, and you're like a local place or something, and you're buying like, you know, local prices. JD's like, you know, thought you could have said, and then you go Uptown the next week. And you think it's going to be the same price. Now, you got to hold the lemonade, bro. The difference, there's a difference in it. I think a lot of these teams don't want to, Fua said it so candidly when before, a lot of these teams don't want to adapt. And there's nothing wrong with adapting. Like, the reason why a Pep Guardiola doesn't have to adapt is because he's got the best players. You don't have that caliber. You've not got the sort of intel of being in that league for years and years and years.
It's hard, though, for promoted teams, like...
What I want to say onto that, bro, is what's a little bit different is, when it's like your guy Chris Wilder, Sheffield United, the reason why I think that's different is because the way they played wasn't naive. They actually devised something that people were unaware of. But the second season comes is that we've clutched that now. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yep.
So it's like, if you want to be stuck in your ways, you have to have something that's so good and different that people are like,
Yeah, but it's different because the reason, well, if we're talking about Bournemouth, but obviously they held 9, but then you look at their team, it was constructed, as production said, it was constructed to be that champagne popping football in the championship. And then if you come into the Premier League, which is a fast, well, it might not be faster, but it's a higher quality, it's a much better league. It's hard to then try and turn them players into, all right, guys, what we're going to do now this season is banks of 4. We're going to make you guys hard to beat. It's a lot different to do that with that set of players. You've just built a team for 2 years to go and get promoted, to win the championship. So now it's hard to now go and revert everything to type and say, oh, they got to go and do this and go and do that. How are you going to do that with no investment?
If that's the end goal and that the whole idea of Bournemouth, initially when they went down with and they hired Scott Parker and the plan was always get back, surely you should be prepared for that then, when that time comes to me.
But how do you get prepared for that?
Do you know what I'll say to that?
I just feel like over the summer when you're recruiting, you kind of plan for plan
Bournemouth have not really recruited. That's the problem.
That's my issue there. So for me, it's like it's the recruitment. Don't be surprised when you're getting panned 9-0. But then also, don't get it twisted. I don't think what Nottingham Forest are doing the other way is great either.
They did lose 20 players as well. I think
they lost about 20 players, and you're going to have to bring that in. But the gelling process, we've seen that before with Fulham, was it, when they came up 2 years ago? How many players did they sign? 12, 13?
But do you know all this? Obviously, you're a QPR fan. You know me, I love Championship. That's why for me, the Championship is such a hard league because in order to navigate that league, that league is so weird because you've got teams that essentially have Premier League base, and some of those players can't even compete in the Championship. You've got teams that try and go youth and get players from like League 1, League 2, sort of. You understand stuff, but when you go up, you haven't got the quality. It's like I always remember when Madison, what team did Madison come up before? Came up of Norwich, yeah. They were talking about.
He didn't come up. They bought him.
No, but who was he playing for in the Championship? Norwich. So remember when it was him and Kenny from Fulham, and they were saying that, oh my gosh, these are the best 2 players and everything. Madison's upside was way different to Kenny's. Kenny's only coming back to the Premier League now. He's not even playing. And it's like, this is what happens when. But these are the 2 players that they were at the time they were comparing them, saying that these are the 2 guys in the Championship. Boom, boom, boom. It's like some of these guys, in the Premier League, they can't it's not gonna translate into the Premier League. It's like, and that's where smart recruitment stuff comes in.
Scott Parker came out and said, "Look, it's a whole nother level. These guys." At the end of the day, we're not good enough to be on the same pitch with. We're not good enough to be on the same pitch with Liverpool, and I truly just feel sorry for them. And that is in an indirect way of saying, if you're not going to invest, this is going to happen more and more. Like for a manager to come out and not even say the players should have done better, to just come out and say, nah, I actually feel sorry for these players. Like it's not fair on them. You shouldn't be out there with them. It's like when you saw Swarms out there with KSI. You shouldn't be out there, mate. You know what I mean? Like I just feel sorry for you. You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't be in the ring with KSI. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Swarms did better.
Shouldn't be on the pitch with Liverpool.
Swarms did better than that Mexican guy, boy. Swarms did much better than that Mexican guy. That Mexican guy was a disgrace. But listen, that's hero there, man.
I've got one thing though before we move on to the next. Am I doing revisionist history? So you lot tell me. But do you feel like we're getting a lot more like big score lines now in terms of like teams getting thrashed in the Premier League? Because Southampton were holding 9. That was just like the other,
isn't it?
No, see, that was in 21.
This 9-0. I feel like we're getting so many of these like now teams getting thrashed. You know am I being revisionist?
Yeah, I think for me it's difficult when you're talking about like high score lines like that. It's difficult to try and spot a trend. But in all those games that I saw, it's one of those things where after the 4th goal, you can just see the team going, you know what?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think teams are caving very easily now when it gets to big score lines. But I do remember also you had United, Arsenal, City,
I remember you lot.
United,
Defoe scoring
Newcastle,
5 goals.
Tottenham, Wigan. Like you've had these types of games. Was it Middlesbrough, Man City?
8-1.
Like, you've had these types of games in the Premier League.
Do you know
maybe just not as within like a year and a half type of time.
Do you know what was?
It doesn't help that 2 of them were Southampton though.
Hasenhüttl. But do you know
he's to blame for this trend, bro.
Those are some of the worst stocks I've ever bought.
But do you know?
Nah, that young core he's building at Southampton, they're gonna get raided. But
I was gonna say that ain't gonna last long. That Sekumara, Lavia.
No, but they done more.
But like catch up or something. Yeah, but
I should catch him. I should catch him. But on the other side, what we're not seeing is, remember when we were seeing games like, was it 7-5 Portsmouth and Arsenal and Portsmouth and all them type of games where it's like both teams were scoring mad goals.
I can't remember that.
The game where
there was a high scoring one.
I remember Arsenal Newcastle 4-4.
Yeah, no, I remember Spurs Arsenal 4-4.
4-4. Yeah, David Bentley.
What game was it? Was it
7-5?
There was a.
No, he's talking about. You are talking about. I remember what game.
I don't know the opponent, but there was a 7-something.
Is that the one where are you talking about the one that Julio Baptista scored 4 goals?
4 goals.
That was against Liverpool, though.
I can't remember for the life
that
of
was
me.
like a 5-4 or something like that.
Arsenal haven't done a matching like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 7-5 Reading.
Oh, Reading.
Yeah.
Reading. The Walcott when they were playing all the kids. Oh,
like back then, when when you saw games,
Carling Cup thing.
But back in the day, you know when you saw like both teams scoring, it's like not getting smacked. We can try and call back a little bit, but that's even sad. On Arsenal though, they are top of the league, so it's only right that we discuss them first. We put them first. A lot of people were saying that this Fulham side of Mitrovic might be a test for them. Mitrovic did get his goal, but they showed some resilience to get the result. Let me try and find. Someone said something along the lines of, that's the first time they've come back from conceding a goal since December in the Premier League, something like that.
What? So going to go down
and winning the game.
Mad. I mean,
it wouldn't surprise me. I think previously Arsenal teams or previous years, they wouldn't have had, 1, the quality, and 2, the strength, I don't think, to come back. It would have either continued going the other way, or they would maybe at best a draw type of thing. For them to come back and win it, I was quite impressed. They had Zinchenko out, Partey out as well. So I thought, there's gaps today. This is the kind of game they can be exploited. I'm a hater. They know what I'm like. So I thought, listen, they're there to
Partey
be had.
Injured,
All the big teams have won. Pressure's on, I thought.
Mysterious injuries, boy. It might keep them out of the World Cup.
You thought the lights were there for them to fail, but the fact that they stepped up, listen, you got to give them their dues. The bubble ain't burst just yet, and I think obviously start of this season, it's kind of the team symbol, the team captain. I feel like Odegaard has been leading by example, bro. And I thought that game was probably his best one I've seen him in an Arsenal shirt personally, where he kind of runs the whole show, and it's like you saw the little cute flicks, the little nice touches, the passing, the goal. Even though it was a little nice little deflection, but you could see
getting in them areas, got in the same area in the last match.
Well, one I wanted to mention on him.
I was always worried about him that he was maybe a little bit too much of a pure 10, where you always just want to find the final ball, go for goal as well, get your numbers up as well. So for me, I think if he does that,
do you know what I like about Odegaard? Yeah, when a lot of people sit down, this was like one of like, I don't want to say original wonder kids, because you know how people would say stuff like that. But this was in terms of like the sort of like
Halilovic.
Yeah, exactly. Remember we were talking about that. So he was like that, and there was so much said. And if we're being so real, from where he was in that moment to how everything think and whatnot, he could have been a Freddie Adu. He could have been so much could have happened, right?
Yeah, no talent.
No, but I'm saying but not in terms. I'm not in terms of talent. In terms of the way the story went. Where he could have been playing for like Las Palmas or one of these.
No, but
there's a reason
for a bit, man.
No, there's a reason why I'm saying like Freddie Adu, because one of them again, it wasn't social media, but it was like everyone's talking about it. It's like Saviola's one of them ones that
he had the whole world after him at 15.
Exactly, and it's a thing where he's now Arsenal captain, right? He's what 23, 24,
23.
Like
been around for years, bro.
In terms of everyone's talking about social media, you don't hear a peep from this guy. He's just like, you know what? I need to show an account of myself that came here on loan, did his thing. Where was he at before? Was it Sociedad? Did his thing. It could have gone so left for him at so many points.
Yeah, you got to respect his
You've got to respect his mentality, the fact that he's here now and he's only getting better and better, and he's showcasing that, you know what, all of that ability that people saw in me from that young age, it wasn't a joke. I just needed to fight the
Norway captain.
Yeah, and I just had to find the right place for myself.
That mentality that you're speaking on as well, like how quickly he's taken the Arsenal armband. The fact that he's Norway captain, even at Sociedad, if I'm not mistaken, he was wearing the armband at
a few times.
Yeah, vice captain. A few times. So I'm just like, bro, at a young age to be able to have that kind of mental leadership, the technical ability is there to see, bro. So for me, I think they could have a serious player there. But for me, consistency.
Yeah,
that's the biggest question I think on Odegaard. The quality is undeniable. Can he do it week in, week out for a whole season? Because last season you saw it in spells of like 5-6 games, then you don't see him for like 4-5 again, and then it's like 5-6 games again. And it's too much of this.
I think you get that. I think the thing is, I think you get that with number 10s. With number 10s, they're so influential that they'll give you highlight reels for 3 weeks of just that game. You know what I mean? I remember like Ozil v Leicester. You can still go back and watch that. But I feel like with him, it's a situation where the Arsenal fans, their question mark on him is the big games. You know what I mean? In a similar way to the Bruno at United, where it's like they're different, completely different type of players. But Bruno in his own way affects smaller games, and Odegaard in his own ways affects smaller games. But them big games where, okay, that's Rodri standing there, that's Fabinho standing there, it's going to be Casemiro next week standing there. Bro,
he had to throw that in.
Bro, it's going to be some serious dons there. Yes, bro.
Oh, you saw the caption.
You know what I'm saying? Can he then influence them type of games? Because I've seen him against West Ham when he played against Declan Rice. He's had some great games and stuff. So he's capable, bro. But the big ones, them big moments where it's fine line, that's when the question marks Arsenal fans have on Odegaard. And you know I'm a big fan of Odegaard. And I was one of the people that was saying 70 million for Maddison or 30 million for Odegaard. I'm going 30 million Odegaard all day long. And people are like, nah, matters. And he started the season, this season as well. And people still saying, now Odegaard's doing his thing. And it's silence again, you know what I mean?
What I would say, you're talking about consistency, and one thing we always say here is that with young players, you're gonna get these sort of peaks and troughs naturally. But do you feel like when you've got like those flair players or like sort of special players, do you feel like their consistency is aided when you have a better squad around you? So if you look at Arsenal's dynamic now in terms of Xhaka having that box-to-box role, Zinchenko being able where he can play central and everything, it's almost like it allows Odegaard to operate how he needs to operate. 100%. So do you feel like a lot of the time, sometimes when we're looking at those special players and going, oh, we're not seeing it, it's because ultimately
those players are the most temperamental ones, those technical, those flary players. That's why their consistency is always a little bit iffy. It's rare you get the kind of that technical ability and the dogness. The ones I can think of is like Alexis Sanchez. He had that pure quality and tech, but he had that dog where he said, even if you put me in a shit team, I'm going to make something happen. Do you know what I mean?
I'm leaving with something.
But Odegaard, I reckon you put him in a shit team, he doesn't operate nowhere near the levels. He needs those kind of complementary pieces and to be that kind of piece in the middle, I feel like.
Listen, number 10s have got to pass it to somebody, innit? So you got to pass it to some quality. Do you know what I'm trying to say? If no one's putting it in the back of the net or whatever, then they look like they had a poor game, innit? So that's what you got to do. But I think Arsenal are doing well with their rotations as well. And as I said, okay, Zinchenko didn't play, but Zinchenko, the way he comes inside, and then obviously you got Partey. I think the whole connection and the way they move is very one. It allows Odegaard to be able to ghost now into these spaces. But I think Arsenal, I know you were going to ask, I think you said, can they keep this up? Innit?
Yeah, so my thing is ultimately it's 4 wins. It's great. October looks like it's a mad time for everyone before the World Cup. Their particular October, I can find a second, the fixtures are mad. From what you've seen so far with the way they're playing, do you think that it's sustainable? And we'll talk about in the same light, because those are the teams at the top. We'll talk about Spurs, we'll talk about City. Do you think from what you've seen so far, Arsenal can sustain this? Because for me, I liked seeing Nketiah come on. I thought what he brought to the game was good. It looks like as a player, even in those small glimpses, like he's developed from last season already.
Shouldn't have signed for me, man. What? Play for any other team.
Should have gone for somewhere
other than the top 6, obviously. Bro, this team crying out for strikers. Wolves right now could do with a fucking striker right now. Like Jimenez, I don't know. Obviously, Donny had a madness and he ain't been the same.
Fabio Silva's gonna learn.
Bro, like, you know what I mean? Obviously, West Ham just went and got Skamaka, but they could have had someone like that. I think, and he's come back from this pre-season unit. He looks big now. Do you know what I mean? And I actually think Nketiah would score goals. Personally, I think he would score goals at other clubs, but he signed the deal. Now he's battling with Jesus, and I don't see him winning that one.
Put 100k on his head, man. Hey. Boyhood club, 100k.
You're trying to tell me other teams in the Prem are throwing around 100k for fun.
It's just what with some of the signings we're seeing.
Prem are throwing around 100k. How much did Morgan Gibbs probably bag just now at Nottingham Forest? He's probably eating about. Probably eating well, innit? He's gonna eat. I don't know. I do think personally. I think next week against United is the game where people. I'm already the one to say it. I think there's no easy games in Prem. It sounds cliche, but when you actually look at it on game by game basis, there is unless it's Bournemouth made. But there is some games where you look at it and it's like, damn, Palace is a tough game to go and win away. They beat Leicester and all this stuff. So people are saying, it's only small teams that they've beat. So United is the one where I even think for the players, yes, they'll see it and they'll probably on paper be like, we should beat these teams. But I think if they go and beat United, I think they should walk into that game seeing it as a statement game to say, if they beat United, I think they can put the league on notice that, okay, we might be able to do something this season. I'm not saying Man United are title contenders themselves, but it's a statement. It's a statement kind of game. Yeah, exactly. Bro, just what we said against Liverpool, it's a badge thing sometimes. You know what I mean? Man United are going to be up for it. It's at Old Trafford. They're going to be up for it. And I just think the only thing I would say, the reason why I think they possibly could, and it's going to be interesting at that point, because right now, life is good for Arsenal fans. They were doing camera shots of the stadium. I was seeing young kids, diverse families.
Have you seen the carnival stuff today?
Yeah.
Carnival kit.
Jamaica. I was seeing
Jamaica.
I was seeing Helen in the crowd, Pippa in the crowd. I was seeing everybody. Everyone is.
Joe Bayer in the crowd.
Bro, they have.
He didn't go United this week. He went to Arsenal.
Bro, they have some certain like section where everyone's wearing black tees. I think they're like the noise section now. Drums. Everyone is buzzing. Like the atmosphere is great. And look at the 360 comment sections. They're eating. Everyone's like, woo!
People saying Arsenal first segment, please.
If they do not beat United, I'm keen to see if it turns. Like, not like Arteta out, not like that. But do they start saying, "Oh, we're not as good as we thought. We should have signed in January. We should have," because by then the window is going to be closed. You lose your first game after the window, you're like, but you know, we should have signed this. Who's the cover for Partey? Who's that? That's what could start creeping in. So I'm just keen to see that.
United game as well. I think that within the 5 games within that, there's the North London derby and they play Liverpool as well.
You're talking about the first game in October, as you guys, yeah. So this is their fixtures. They've got Spurs, Liverpool, City, Leeds. In terms of like their games in October, they've got Spurs. They've got Spurs. They've got a Europa League game, Liverpool Europa League game, Leeds, City, Southampton, PSV Europa League, and Forest.
That's another dynamic tough when the Europa League gets involved as well. Like nothing has kicked off. It's every single week now because the World Cup is obviously condensed everything. I feel like it's going to hit teams and listen. But that's why it's also important. You got to get these early head starts. I can't lie. Build that momentum as early as you can, even if you feel like you're not playing at your best, like in our case or in their case where they're playing champagne football. As long as you're getting them points early on.
Credit to them, man. Last season, 0 points. This season, top of the league.
So yeah,
you'd rather be here than there. You know what I mean? So credit to them.
Perfect segue into Spurs because I was looking 10 games unbeaten. You played Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal that time. It's weird because a lot of people are watching stuff and it's like, this is dead. But you guys are operating unbeaten.
We are operating by wins and by force. Listen, Conte's doing it. And today was another example of not playing at your best, but still some way, somehow pulling out a result. I think we were helped by Nottingham Forest pretty much signing 19 players, though not knowing who to fit. Did you see the front line? It was Lingard,
Johnson, and Gibbs White. Oh my gosh, this guy.
Man said hi, I'm Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard, 30, Manchester.
Do you fancy some chat? Do you fancy some chat?
Let's have a chat. You know what I mean?
Man, I was saying that corners, you know.
I said, what's going on here?
And then they had Africa United on the bench. They tried to bring on Dennis and Amani.
PMP FC, the core, all the apps came on. I said, yo, that last 15 minutes was scary.
That's actually nasty.
But it was like they had no forwards up front, so for me it was almost like playing a toothless attack. They got in a few dangerous positions, but they couldn't really capitalize. And I felt like should have buried the game away with that penalty. Once that penalty didn't go in, you see them kind of stadiums. I can't remember who was saying. I think it was you, Cams. It's like early in the season, you don't want to get in them kind of atmospheres. Once that fucking crowd got going after that penalty. I was like, yeah.
What is that?
This is going to be one of those, Spurs had it in their hands and they threw it away, but...
I mean, great save, Dean Hendo, but bloody hell, you're 1-0 down and you're doing...
waving cap.
You know what I mean? I was like, he's doing this, the fans are doing... Yeah, I'm like, broski, calm down. That's that Pickford in him, like, chill. Chill a little bit, but I like him, but...
Subs made the difference again, and I gotta say, listen, the 60 million man...
The pigeon!
I said...
The pigeon!
I said, brother,
the pigeon has landed.
Wrong. So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing. And it's what I said. He comes on...
The pigeon has landed.
You see the work. I knew that was going to come. but give me that bit of quality. Final ball outside of the boot.
The pigeon has
That's the
landed.
Brazilian passport coming out. I'm official.
Brazilian. I don't know.
Well, I'm not Ecuadorian.
No, I'm official.
That's still chilly. That's still chilly.
We said still
We
pending.
ain't
say what, Paraguay?
flew over to Brazil
You
yet.
see, I'm trying to get
Paraguay.
you right. I'm trying to get you good.
We ain't there yet. Still, we ain't there
You know when
yet.
you got the meeting to get your passport. He's got it in 2 weeks. He's
But
loading
now,
up.
once
I got a
that kind
question
of
for you.
happens, ice the games. You know what I mean? You can't complain 2-0.
Flipping
Get out of there.
Harry Kane.
Talk to me.
201 career league goals. Obviously, I think it's 187 Premier League goals. I don't think we got to speak about it last week when he actually got the went
Surpassed
over Aguero.
Most for one
Like,
club, right? Yeah.
what do you? What have you got to say about Harry Kane? Because obviously, look, I'd be tweeting about Harry Kane. All I get is 0 trophies, 0 trophies. But it doesn't take away the fact
Stop
of
it, man.
the player. Do you know what I mean?
Stop
So like, I think listen, Harry Kane has proved even when Salah. Remember when Salah got the golden boot? He was like, well, you got to keep it up. Okay, Salah went and won it again, but then he went and won it. He obviously cares about these things, similar to how Van Nistelrooy cared. Bro, he would have seen Haaland's hat trick, you know. He would have seen
100%.
Haaland's hat trick, and he's like, no, I need to do something.
I
so
said he
talk
was-
to me about Kane, man. Talk to me what he's done. What has he done for you as a Spurs fan? No, like the real talk. Like, yeah.
What has he done for
Yeah.
that?
Listen.
I thought Cam was going to be like, because for me, for Ronaldo, he won Champions League. What's he done?
No, because
I
like,
get what
you're
you're
actually living through
Yeah.
a living legend. Man United, right now, I've got no legends at my club right now. You ain't got no legends at your club right now either. Well, Aspie and that, yeah.
There's been bare disrespect.
Nah, that, yeah.
Bare
But they're not in
disrespect.
the peak no more. That's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Like,
mean peak?
This
Okay.
this is like
Listen,
arguably
I've
a top
said-
two,
do you know
top
what
three player of all
Kane
time
is?
for Spurs.
Harry Kane is the best player Spurs have ever produced, and they will never, ever produce another one like that. I've said for me, he's one of the greatest strikers I think I've ever seen in regards to totality, the types of goals I've seen for what he's done in a sometimes poor team where we haven't surrounded him with the tools needed to succeed at that level. What he's been able to do even in poor England teams, I'll be honest with you. I feel like he is someone who is the definition of maximizing your ability. You take away the trophies or whatever you like, you cannot deny that this guy has got every ounce out of what ability he's got. No matter what manager he's had, the way he's adapted his game, the way he's constantly like evolved. I'm just like, there's nothing I can say wrong about him, which is why when people have previously tried to rubbish him saying he's on the decline too early or whatever. Oh, yo, Son might be a more important player for Spurs. I'm like, listen, you lot don't understand what Kane means to Spurs. There's no wrong he can do. Even last season when he wanted to leave, was I sat here saying, nah, walk. You've done enough, my brother. He's going to end up guaranteed all-time Premier League goal scorer.
He's
Guaranteed.
he's probably hit 200
England-
club this season.
100%. I'm telling you, guaranteed England's all-time
No,
goal
that's
scorer.
that's no
Do you know
doubt.
what
So for me, his name will be etched in history. Say whatever you like about him. What a trophy for Harry Kane. It ain't gonna run. His name will be there in the history books.
Yeah, you sound like that
Undeniable.
Man City brother just there. You know that Man City brother?
Sit down on the floor. My guy, Man City ultra fan.
he's too
Big
funny.
him up.
I know, but my thing is, yeah.
Can I say something
Go
really
on.
quickly? As a Spurs fan, I totally get that. Do you know what I respect about Harry Kane? I think I tweeted a while back, yeah. I can't remember a player that was so much of an unknown quantity that rose to that height. Do you remember that game where, do you remember there's the picture of him and Jamie Vardy sitting on the bench
Yeah.
for Leicester? This guy was on loans in the Championship
he-
doing diddly squat.
Listen, when he was in the academy,
Bro, my boy is a Norwich
No,
fan.
take-
I've said it
take it
before.
in.
My boy is a Norwich fan. Yeah, shout out Jahi. He's a Norwich fan, and he said Kane played one time, and everyone looks in the stadium and said, "This guy is unbelievably shit."
bro,
They
and
were
here's the
like,
thing,
this
you know
guy-
when
who
he
the
was
hell
in
is
the
this
academy-
guy?
Take that in,
When he
yeah.
was in the academy, he put up
They nearly released him, didn't they?
ridiculous numbers.
At one
No,
point.
he put up ridiculous numbers. They were saying he's going to be the next one up. Then he went on these loan spells and he looked like an absolute dud, which was why when he came back, sat behind Soldado, record signing, sat behind the ultimate
Remember Van der
mercenary,
Vaart said
Adebayo.
he-
Van der
Kane
Vaart
was
said,
mid.
Who?
Yeah.
Get him out of here. So when you talk about like guys who was talking about earlier with the mental fortitude,
Yeah.
the mental fortitude this guy has had to get to where he's been to, don't talk to me.
No,
Yeah.
This guy is
Just
levels.
because people don't.
Still.
And when I say unknown quantity, like you know when you're talking about world class like players and everything, like oh yeah, this striker, that is what you call an unknown quantity. People were saying like Jamie Vardy because he came from non-league. All right, cool. Harry
Jamie Vardy doing at the World Cup.
Yeah, Kane came.
But you know what I'm saying?
The thing is,
it's insane.
Yeah, the thing is
But
with
this is what I'm
Kane-
saying. It's insane. I've not seen. For me, when we talk
Bro,
about
even
world class,
that, do you
top
remember-
best of the best in terms of players, I've not seen anything about that.
The
before.
thing is with
No, but
Kane,
do you remember
though,
even last year they were trying to have this ridiculous conversation of, oh, Vardy's legacy's
Ben's
better.
better,
Yeah. Like, you lot get too excited in the moment with these things. When you look at the totality of what Kane has done and you actually take your biases out of it,
Yeah, it's not normal.
incredible.
the thing
bruv.
is, like,
incredible.
what I think for
His
Kane
Champions
is
League record, international record, Premier League record, on any level he's played
he's
at,
got a record,
does his
yeah.
thing.
if he goes, the thing is, if Kane goes now, yeah, let's just say, in Grealish fashion, let's say, goes and wins a title at City, does that now make an? Let's say Kane went to City, scored 9 goals, yeah, and won the league. Does that now make him a certified legend?
No.
No. So I don't see really why. Like, of course, you need trophies if you want to sit with the highest tier. But in terms of when people do it to disregard him as a player, is where I would say I can't really agree on. Because Alan Shearer, you look at on Match of the Day, it doesn't say one title Blackburn. It says Premier League goals all-time scorer, 260 goals, right? That's all we remember Shearer for. Listen, yes, he mashed up the league and won the league with Blackburn. But when you talk about Shearer, it's like, oh yeah, and he won a title with Blackburn. That's like an afterthought. You don't even think about his title. Yeah. You say, oh yeah. So if Kane goes and wins one title, that's what stamps him as this all-time legend. It doesn't. But it is fine balance, because Shearer could have went to Man United instead of Newcastle. If Shearer went to Man United, he'll be seen as the GOAT. It's as simple as that. Because he would have had 6 titles, and saying if he had 260 goals with 6 titles at Man United, he'll be seen as the GOAT.
Yeah. But
so
do you know what comes into this as well? Yeah, because inevitably with Kane, as with everything in football, it gets to a point where people won't be able to see him. They'll just be looking at what is written down. Yeah. And that's where it will become interesting, because people
internet era is different. I don't think we can say that as much anymore.
No, people
can't lie. We can see every detail, every person's career now.
People will watch clips. Old
tapes from 2002.
People watch clips. People watch clips, but you weren't in the moment to actually see what was going on. So you can't. It's like when we talk about some of the stuff before, when people are trying to slide like Vieira and that, it's like you weren't there to see what these guys were doing. It's like when we have conversations about that Yaya Toure season was insane. If you're not there to sort of feel what it was, you will see something on paper and be like, it was that.
But it could work the other way, because you see with like what you're saying about like Vieira, Keane is a good example. Yeah. All these winners, but people still just see him as a hatchet man, because that's what YouTube put. Yeah, I mean, hardest man, angriest moments. Yeah. That's all you see of Keane now. Yeah, innit? Hardest men in football. You don't see no quality. Just he injured Haaland.
One Juve shot.
That's all you see, right? But
in the moment, you knew it wasn't that.
But in the moment, you knew it wasn't that. But what I'm saying is now people can go back. Like, you can't really go back and find certain moments of Roy Keane or whatever. So all it has is people's nostalgia and memories and stuff, which sometimes nostalgia, we do forget about the bad moments. Yeah, but now with Kane, everyone's going to remember, oh, what? He didn't score in that semi-final against Man United. He didn't score again. People now, because the internet's so advanced and stuff, you can just type in Kane Liverpool again in Twitter, and it'll bring up every Kane versus Liverpool match you've ever seen.
I think that's what I'm saying.
It's a lot different now. Like now,
the same thing, though,
what I'm saying is now I think you can actually, like, it might not be to Kane's benefit. Like, if he continues, let's say for example, with no trophies, looking back, I don't think people are just going to see all the goals and be like, this guy's crazy.
We're saying the same thing. I'm saying that in terms of in the moment, we know what he was doing.
Yeah.
I'm saying in the future, people are just going to look at paper. People are going to look on paper and be like, oh, there's nothing. There's no in the trophy bit. There's no tick.
That's what listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say trophies don't matter. They absolutely matter. That's what you play the game for, to win ultimate silverware. If Kane doesn't, it's one of the biggest like football disappointments. I feel like for someone of that ability, that quality, and for us to have wasted that is one of the biggest stains in our history. In all honesty, that's how I feel. What'd you say?
It's hard.
I said, what's the basketball equivalent of that?
I need to think.
What's his name, man? Barkley, yeah. Charles Barkley. Seen as one of the great, should have won an MVP in Jordan's era, but doesn't have nothing to show for it. And it will be seen like that where Allen Iverson even. Westbrook.
Yeah, no, he's ruining it. He's
more efficient than that. He's more efficient than that.
Nah, I'm just saying.
But you get what I'm saying. And I get it, but for me, I don't think greatness can be disputed. He will be up there with the greatest, maybe not the greatest.
Yeah.
Just we've got listener questions, but I want to quickly go into City because production did the shout out. They're getting, they've not improved. This was the second game where they've conceded 2 or more goals. Come back in great fashion.
A bit of retention. Just a little bit of retention they're lacking, but yeah, go on. 4 goals in 2 games.
Haaland
conceded.
Haaland's got
Retention is looking a bit.
every
game's looking a bit like a basketball game. You know what I mean? Who's there to calm it down? You know what I'm saying?
Golden State.
Who's there to calm it down, man?
Haaland's got what? 6 goals, 4
6 goals in 4 games.
Boy, listen.
What machine,
8
bro? This
passes,
is exactly. The thing is though, like with all these passes and stuff, right? Like. I remember growing up on Van Nistelrooy's, Inzaghi's, Shevchenko's, all these type of players. I never, ever in my life remember going back and checking how many passes Van Nistelrooy made or these guys. I just walked off and said, I saw them walking off with the match ball. And I'm like, thanks, mate. You know what I mean? Match of the day, it's nice. So everyone's going to be doing this whole thing. Yes, you can analyze it and it looks bad when you're not scoring like Lukaku did. Then it can be like, wow. But if you are putting the ball in the back of the net and you got KDB, Gundogan, Foden, all these men just supplying you, please just stay there because there's nothing Erling Haaland can do for me deeper when I've got these ballers. Nothing. Go between the 2 men and be a problem between Anderson and my man and go and do your thing.
Go hang in dangerous areas.
That's
just
it.
like that Stones opportunity. It looks like it gets there by chance, but you're right place, right time.
Crashing the box. Just go and crash the box. But do you know what? I loved, he did the thing afterwards where he was like, yeah, Foden finally found me. And then I think when it was the first game, KDB was like, it was great to assist you. Foden yesterday, it was great to assist you. It's like, these guys know, listen, we've been doing this false 19 for so long. We have a contract killer here. Just put the ball forward.
Just line it up,
but
let me knock them.
As great as that is, we have to address what's going on with them. I was saying to production before you got here, we've seen Newcastle score 3 goals. We've seen Crystal Palace score 2 goals. They've got like sort of these, forwards that, typically in the part of the season, they try and get warm and do something. If you're looking at Manchester City with how they are now, and you're one of the four, you have a belief that, you know what, I can actually score them. We might not win the game, but we can score.
Don't trick yourself.
You reckon?
You're tricking yourself.
You reckon?
Newcastle and Palace have been bogey teams just like Spurs have been bogey teams for City. And for some reason or the other, whenever they go there, they seem to get goals. I think, for me, I credit City for having the ability to actually come back again, like they did against Newcastle, because I felt like the last year or the year before, they would have drew that game or lost that game, and it would have just been one of those, I'm happy more than you believe, kind of press conference. But the fact that they came back and won that, I'm like, City under Haaland, this transition that I thought maybe they would go through TV period, it's not looking like it.
But didn't they do this in the tail end of last season as well?
Who?
There was like 2 games where they had to come back. There's one was the Villa game,
Villa,
and then I can't remember the other one. Was it West Ham?
Yeah.
So this is not. It's not a new thing we're seeing with them.
No.
It's something that's developing and it's becoming more apparent because we're in the moment.
I think not everyone at City is playing at their optimum level right now. That's all it is. They have key players playing at a good level. Rodri's not been that good this season, right? They got KDB's playing well. They got Gundogan playing well. Haaland playing well. And I think Stones had a really good game yesterday after the own goal. He really improved in the performance. But even then,
own goal.
But then, Stones had a howler against St. Maximum the week before, and so did Walker and stuff. So I don't think everyone's playing at their peak level. But when you have unbelievably quality players, you're gonna get. Yesterday, Bernardo, I don't think has had a great start. He was fantastic yesterday. You know what I mean? And when you have that much quality, the game can just flip on the head. But I would say that City are probably going to need to Foden, Grealish, Mahrez. They're going to need to
have to step up.
Yeah, they're going to need to give more.
Because Champions League coming back next week.
Exactly.
Where none of your wingers are firing, and
if
you're stuck
KDB
with
and Haaland are just not in it today, you're starting to worry. You're now relying on. I know we have to get used to now that Gundogan is a goal scoring midfielder, but it still kind of feels weird to be like, all right, KDB and Haaland have a game. Gundogan score me goals. He's not Lampard, you know what I mean? So you're asking,
he's trying.
Like, but one day he could just want to control the game instead of popping into the box and scoring. So those wide men, they are going to need to be chipping in.
Because at the end of the day, right, we've mentioned the sides, but Champions League football is coming back. We're talking about teams going into the season. That's great, but we've seen how City have sort of been flustered by teams before in the Champions League. I don't think they can afford to be not in a great place doing that for too long. But we know how it gets in them type of
in the Champions League, you'll get punished. They got lucky. They got lucky last season. Fair enough, that didn't happen. Last season, Madrid were the ones. It was a miracle season, like coming back and doing all this type of stuff. But City, we've seen time and time again, bro. I dare you go 2 goals down in the Champions League. You're out. You are out, bro. It's as simple as that. So this whole like mentality monsters domestically, yeah, you are. Europe,
it's different.
You ain't monsters.
And
you ain't
they've been shown
monsters.
that over the years. But I think in the group stage though, they can still.
Group stage, yeah. Oh, they're gonna blow their group stage. When it gets to the quarterfinals.
Lose to Sheriff first game last year.
Yeah,
Madrid.
So they lost. They lost.
Yeah, they lost to
They lost to
Screamers as well.
Them man were letting it off from all angles. But
Another thing he got announced.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you lot have seen that Anthony got announced.
official?
Anthony, here we go. Yeah.
okay. So
Wait. Talk to me.
yeah. I said, what's the one? Oh,
listen,
Maria.
We have one of the only flair players in football.
So you got Anthony, Sancho.
I'm not sure about that backcourt. I'm not sure about that backcourt, but
Talk to me. I see mirror reflections right there.
Let's do quick.
bro, no, with me, I think
Sancho. I see Anthony.
I think
It's
Anthony.
one and the same.
I think Anthony. This is the thing, right? It really depends on what angle Ten Hag is trying to go down, because Rashford not in the greatest form. We've said this for a while now, but he's a much different profile to them two. So does he get that automatic left-hand side start? Because somebody needs to be penetrating the box. If you have Sanchini,
Man.
Hey!
Hey, look. Man said. Man said. Man said, put it together.
Yo, that's mad.
Ladies and gentlemen.
That's Santorini, you know. But nah.
That's funny.
But if you have Martial, Sancho, and Anthony, who's breaking on, bro? Like, that's when, and I'm not a biggest fan of Bruno, but you need him to be the one that's penetrating that way. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like that's very tippy-tappy, but true say, for me, it does improve the team level. And this is what I've been arguing in my group chat about this all day. Some of my guys in my group chat are saying it improves the team level, which is absolutely correct. No disrespect to Elanga, but you shouldn't be the second option. You shouldn't. So Anthony, that is a very big improvement. But for me, I think still at the same time, I think United needs someone that can get past players more. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he can. I've seen it, but I'm looking at his physical profile and stuff, and I have a little bit of doubts. But he's a very good technical player, and that's what Ten Hag likes. He knows him. It's a lot of money. But, hey, listen, so far, Martinez has been good. I think, he's improved. He started the first 2 games a bit shaky. Malacia has been great for me. Eriksen's been good. Casemiro is Casemiro. Let's see how it kicks in. And listen, I like Ten Hag signing so far.
Especially though, you know what you've always said about those players that leave Ajax. You've said it about Ziyech.
I'm worried. That's why
Young.
Yeah.
Anthony's
That's why
about
I can't
to be
be
a record signing out of Eredivisie.
And this is why the reason why Martinez feels different.
The bus factor is higher, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, bro. Check my tweets. I've said this, and the reason why I think it's different with Martinez, and even if you go all the way back with like a Suarez, they feel like they're doing a little pit stop in the Dutch league. They pit stopped from South America, and they're gonna make.
But these guys
Anthony,
have grown up.
It's not. I don't. He's not from the academy or anything, but he feels very Ajax molded. You know what I mean? And them players are a bit. You know, what I mean? Them Ajax molds, bro. We got Van der Beek dying right now, bro.
The only thing you can say is, at the end of the day, what might be to your, and I don't see Ten Hag getting sacked and everything. You never know. Because you've got him. Because you've got him.
Don't put that.
Too many players I like.
Don't put that negativity out there.
I'm saying because it's him.
If
It's cool.
ETH is getting sacked.
That's what I'm saying. Because you got him.
Dog out here.
I can work with this. If he was to go and then you get another manager, that's when.
Listen, the thing about fees is a very social media thing, right?
Fees are just mad at the moment.
Listen, if at
100
the end of the day, Gordon is linked to 65 million right now. Fofana just went for crazy money. Anthony's going for crazy. Everything is crazy. But as we've always said, once upon a time, people were saying 40 million for Salah's too much. Once upon a time, we were saying 75 million for Van Dijk is too much. If you do it, no one will care about your fee, bro. Do people even remember that Rodri was 65 million?
No. Listen, if you're good, you're good.
No one remembers that. How much?
60.
Plus Danilo.
Yeah.
Do we remember that?
That's money laundering.
None of us remember this, bro. This is the thing.
No, but when you're good, you're good.
Go and deliver. That's all I can say. It's a lot of pressure because Man United was Man United, but
listen, we'll see how it goes, man. It could be
let's go,
turning.
innit? 2 Brazilians in my club now.
We've got dogs. We need to do champion does, but I want to do. I said we'll do questions this week. So
he's not that. He got blonde hair and the tats.
Oh my gosh, we'll do some quick questions.
Can't put him in the club.
Let's see. Michael G says, what would be considered a successful season for United?
Successful. Europa League win and a Europa League win and a cup run.
I hear you.
That's a successful season.
This one's good from Delroy. Who's scoring more league goals this season? And it's quite interesting. Lewandowski or Benzema? It's a very good question.
When but then Belly was hooping today. Let me tell you that.
How was Fati playing?
Benzema's had his arc.
Yeah, Pedri.
Benzema's had his arc. He's gonna collect his ballon. But
he's saying he's chilling. He's looking for the World Cup. I think Benzema's got his eyes on the World Cup now. Yeah,
I can't lie.
I think it might be Lewis
because it's like new league. They're saying I came here late. I think he wants to impose himself.
Bro, have you seen how many hoopers Lewis got around him?
It's ridiculous.
The same thing as Haaland. Please just stay in between.
Stay
in between the sticks. You know Benzema's still having to come deep. Then he's done the fighting.
No, but do you know?
Bro, you see his Chelsea goal.
Do you know?
He's still having to make his XG like.
No, but do you know?
Defy the odds.
Do you know what's mad about Benzema as well? Benzema's trying to help the young G's. Lewandowski saying, "You man, go shop." Go do that. I'm not doing it. Was that? But this was a nice one. Who's the best player outside the top 6?
Who asked me this last week? He said, I remember you said Zaha was the GOAT.
Mid-table goat.
You forgot Matt Letizia.
No, I said he's one of. I didn't say he is the goat. I said he's one of. I said he's one of.
I saw his catalogue of goals the other day. I went, yo, people, enough conversations that you had about Matt Letizia.
This is crazy.
I know he's got some weird views, but as a baller,
yeah,
mad. One of the most unique players you'll ever find.
He wasn't a 9. He wasn't a 10. He was
bit like Glenn Hoddle. You know what I mean? Bit like Glenn Hoddle.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? Like them days. You know what I mean? Gaza. Yeah.
Got some back.
You know.
It was like best player outside the top 6.
Best.
Bruno G. I like him. I like Bruno G.
At the moment, I've got to be on.
Outside the top 6.
Come back that one.
Neves.
Neves might not be there anymore. Who you going for?
Deckers. Nah, but it's I think Neves. I can agree with Neves. Neves, there's Rice, there's Bruno G, there's Zaha, there's Madison. In my opinion,
Madison's not up there anymore.
Yuri. Don't think so.
This one.
Fofana.
Just before we go Champton does quickly. This one's a nice one. Should Chelsea move on from N'Golo Kante after this season?
You should have done that last season.
Yeah.
You should have been planning already.
Yeah, you should have been planning.
Absolutely. What? You tried it with Conor Gallagher, no?
Hey, that cameo.
Yo, listen.
That's gonna be my dad. But
I like the thing is I like Conor Gallagher, and we were talking last season about last episode about misprofiling, but bro,
that was tough.
He looks a fish out of the water, mate.
It was tough.
At Chelsea, I think it's a.
Do you know what it is?
You know what I mean? I just think I don't think he's Chelsea level yet.
I think it's the.
Bro, he's had horror.
You know when you want to do too well, almost, so you're trying too hard.
Yeah.
I genuinely think this is like his dream.
Yeah, his family's Chelsea.
And he's doing it finally, but it's just too. And the way he was thrown in as well, I don't think was ideal.
Yeah.
But I think he will come good. I hope they have patience with him this year.
I
hope they don't do like some deadline day, fob him out on loan. Let him rough it out.
A really quick one.
Where would he come good?
I don't want to, what's it called?
Cup games.
I don't want to do too much with it and everything.
Group stage and shit.
You see what you're saying? You see what I'm saying? Similar thing, Harvey Elliott. Liverpool through and through and everything. It's like, you know what, we're gonna
Liverpool through and through.
No, like he's like a Liverpool, he's like his family and everything. Liverpool like fans.
But
like,
he's not
fam. I think he's even got a Liverpool tag. Like he's like, when he scored a goal, it's like, yeah, my grandma's Liverpool, she passed away. Like he's proper Liverpool. So for him, it's like you're fulfilling your dream, but it's like you're facilitating in a way that it's like it's not on you. What Gallagher did in that game was mad. But the pressure was on him. It was just so much. It was so much. Because you know when you're experiencing, you know when you play the experience of games, you're like, you know what, Trevor's gonna get him. He saw that pass from Cucurella and he was like, there was no need. You gotta let him go.
Like, but it's mad. Cucurella's reaction,
Mount's reaction.
It was like somebody saved this brother. You know what I mean? Remember when Gaza was crying on the pitch?
Yeah. Oh, Gallagher, because that.
I mean, like Mason Mount had to give that. Nah,
but no, we
shouldn't be out here, mate. You know what I mean?
He's getting around him, like
you shouldn't be out there. I could tell they feel sorry for the guy, man. You know what I mean?
100%. Boy, listen.
Raza.
Let's go. Let's go.
I want 15, my boy.
Banks.
I want 15.
Prove them wrong. The second one, I was like, yo, some more of that.
No, but that's what I said. I said back post Sterling's back.
That back post.
Reece James' performance.
Boy,
man, supreme.
Let's go champ and duds quickly. Can we do duds first?
Go on.
We should do that more often.
Yeah, we should do duds first and last. Yeah. This one, it's I don't know. It might be a premature dudry case here, but the way this Pogba family case is playing out in front of our eyes, it's very sad for me.
Nah, it's
really
not
sad for
potential.
me.
His brother's a dud.
No,
Sorry.
but no, I don't know.
Nobody
that,
wins
I
when
don't,
the family feuds. No.
I don't know the situation. I'm just saying this whole situation
I don't give a fuck about the
is
situation. If my brother comes out and says he's got details on me, you're a dickhead.
Yeah.
You are snaking the family. I don't
100%.
care what embezzlement is going on. Let them shoot you. This is the family name, brother. I'm sorry. I don't
But
respect
the reason why I'm
that
saying
or
the
rate
whole
that.
thing is because now, like, you saw the
Matthias
Meek Mill
Pogba.
thing.
Dud.
You see the Meek Mill thing. But it's like,
Mateus.
yeah, Mateus.
Meathead.
It's like,
All up in the videos, dancing.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean? All up in the videos,
when shit was
dancing.
good, they was doing
no,
Yeah,
but it is.
they're
It's
doing
the way-
this.
Man said,
yeah, they were.
Literally, bruv.
And now it's how
Oh.
I will tell you about my brother.
Yeah.
Shut
and
up.
no, but do you know what
We
made me
ain't
laugh?
tryna hear it.
Man said World Cup winner Paul Pogba. I said, rah,
See
you
if
watch
he
these
deserves
games
your love.
with
Man
your
even
mother.
said after-
You were there with your mother.
He even said
watching the
after a
games.
disappointing spell at Manchester
Yeah.
United. I was like, rah, who wrote this, bro?
Oh
You
my
got that
God.
written by
If
Simon
they
Jordan or
didn't
something.
have the strap behind the camera on him, I'm sorry.
Now, for me, yeah.
It's unforgivable.
Like,
whole
when you
thing
look at it though,
unforgivable.
like when you look at it deeper in those situations, yeah, it is a mad shame that situations have to get
Arise
to that,
it.
and it just shows about greed. And I don't even want to get too deep, but bro, sometimes I feel like this is a common thing in black communities,
It
bro.
is. It
Yeah, I mean, man, get money and you have to feed the whole world. You know what I'm trying to say? You have to feed everyone.
Adebayo was talking about it.
This is what I'm
spoken about it.
Exactly. And you look at a lot of African ex-African players are spoken about getting extorted. Some of them by white women, but that's another
Sorry, bro.
story.
Even if you look at French, like if you look at just France, yeah, this is like an extortion thing. The Valbuena thing, extortion.
Yeah, them
thing.
Frenchmen
The
are nuts though,
PSG
innit?
You know do you remember the PSG women's team?
Yeah,
With the whole kidnap thing that was last year.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying in terms of the whole thing that was happening up. She went involved, but they were still in the. You get me? They were still saying.
Yeah, I don't listen. I'm not trying to say it's all a thing, but sometimes you just feel like you see it too much. That when a black man gets a lot of money, vultures are around him, bro.
People
And
trying to
it
siphon
can even
your
be your
pockets.
own family. And even to anyone that watches this, that might fall into the money. Yeah, I'm telling you, there would have been so many signs that Pogba would have seen that this brother is a bit shaky. This particular brother is a bit of evil. Like you always know, bro.
You feel it.
Never ignore them signs, bro. When you see somebody has got potential evil eye and you're about to go into the money, bro, start cutting them off, bro. I'm telling you. I know that's your older brother, but there's always a sign, bro. Always.
Don't forget the worst case, R.I.P. Wilson Palacios. He lost his brother.
Yeah, right.
Remember John Obi Mikel got his
Career was
brother
never the same.
Kidnapped.
Never recovered from that. Honestly.
Yeah.
And he was one of the baddest DMs at the time.
It always-
Wigan when he made that move.
It always
Remind me
comes,
of
bro.
Caicedo.
Player.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It always
shout.
comes when man get money. People around you get greedy, man. You just gotta literally
Nice.
snake in the
It
grass,
is.
bro.
It is saddening, and then like that's like the furthest extent. Yeah.
His brother was on.
We can go into a
El
conversation about
Chengrito,
another
bro,
time.
like
Yeah.
Lil Boosie on Vlad. How many appearances did he make? Saying, bro, he was trying to get his brother, auctioning his brother to Real Madrid so he can pay his debts. Bro, man was saying, yeah, my brother decided to play for Real Madrid, and yeah, like he's not happy at Manchester. You know what I mean,
And
bro?
now you're doing up this.
You know what I mean, bro? He was a regular feature. I thought, bro, like you're a subscriber or something.
Bro,
that's
Yeah,
so
I mean,
mad.
like it was crazy, but
Yeah.
funny
So
what
for
people
me,
do,
that
bro.
whole thing is.
imagine how
is
his mum
deadly.
feels.
That's what literally I said.
Imagine how his
That's what
mum
my
feels.
Pogba's She's like, you know, like in African culture as well. It's like, listen, you can do anything, just don't fire your siblings.
Bro, what?
They're just
Imagine how
there in the
the
world.
other
In the
brother
world.
feels. Imagine how the other brother, Florentine. Imagine how
yeah.
he feels. He probably knew
It's
about it.
the
He said
bum baller who didn't make it.
he probably knew, like, yeah, just get a little 10 mil, just 10 mil,
Drop
10
me,
mil,
drop
10
me,
mil.
just
Yeah.
drop me a young 1 mil.
Nah, let me allow Florentine. Yeah, it's the brother that didn't make it.
Yeah.
Who's hating? He was. What was he playing? Like League 2 or something.
Some
He was playing in
yeah.
England, bro. Like League
Biggest
2.
op.
Come on, man.
Biggest op, man. That's
Yeah, that's my
unforgivable
dud.
shit,
Is that unanimous dud or is that
Unanimous
Oh,
dud, bro.
unbelievable.
Get in
And
the
I hope it
fucking
gets
bin.
better for Pogba. No matter what, there's going to be some Man United fans that
That
are
are
secretly
happy
happy
for
about
this,
this.
yeah.
Listen, I'm happy it didn't happen at United because this would be a different
mad.
level. of
Simon
story.
Jordan would be
However,
whipping.
yeah,
What?
I know. However, I hope it all turns out well for him.
No,
Man.
it's
That's
not
crazy.
It's
bro.
not
What?
nice. Champs.
Oh yeah.
No, I said it's that unanimous dud.
Conor Gallagher, I'll give dud.
Oh,
Okay, who's your dud, please?
Yeah, no. I can't give them champs, man. Yeah, it's
We didn't
nice.
even really touch on their result. Yeah, I know.
Nah, they
You
don't
know, we
need-
didn't
what,
even.
praise to beat Bournemouth 9-0.
No,
Nah,
Yeah, it's-
we talked about Bournemouth.
It's their individual record. I think they deserve champs for that for sure.
I was gonna say,
Almost
do you know how? If we're talking like that, I think Bobby Firmino deserves some respect.
100%. 2 goals, 3 assists.
Yep.
What, how many goals and assists did
sure.
Salah get?
None.
None.
He watched the whole show go by. Missed about 3 or 4 sitters as
Swear
well.
down.
Yeah.
No goal contribution.
No,
9-0.
None. Kept smiling though.
Team around
Yeah.
it.
The shy embarrassed smiles, innit?
You're not serious.
I know when he
But
got
yeah.
in. He got literally. You know that Draymond.
Everyone's getting that. He's dashing shoes.
No, he's fuming,
Oh,
bro. He's
shit.
fuming. Bro, it is what it is.
But
Hey, Brighton, 10 out of 12 points, bruv. They're
Brighton
doing a
unbeaten
thing.
in 9.
Yeah,
They're cooking.
They're creeping up slowly.
they're cooking.
Top 4.
No.
they're
They're
in the top
I
4.
got them Conference League.
No, they're in the
threat.
top 4.
Yeah, they're in there now.
Yeah,
Brighton's
Brighton's
doing well.
Yeah, no, of course.
But yes, they deserve champs, I think.
Boy, dude, Potter ball, bruv. Potter ball.
Listen,
You know who's
I've
hooping?
converted over to Potable.
Secretly, that Pascal Gross.
Gross! Hey!
It's clicked.
He is.
It's
do you know what's
clicked.
happened?
He's
Yeah.
like a little
It's
kind of
clicked.
cute
like-
player, fam.
feel like he's-
Bro, he's
he's
man's
re-
in now.
I feel
I
like
don't know.
Potter's
He's
giving
kinda
him the
giving me
keys or
something
something.
No, do you know what it is?
And he's all of a
Do you know
sudden
what it is?
He's like a
finding
Johnson
these-
a bit, bro.
Bro, did
I'm
you see
telling
that
you,
final
watch
pass he
it.
played?
Watch it.
Yeah.
Into the fucking. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. I said,
No,
nah,
it's
he's
clicked
got
for
an
him.
extra bit of juice
And now
about
that
him.
Yes, yes.
There's
Mopa's gone
something in the
Everton.
water.
Mopa's gone Everton and says like, listen, one of you has to step up, please. And he's like, you know what?
Do you know what it is? Basuma's gone as well. So that ball dominant kind of guy in midfield. Now
I
he
don't
is.
even think he's doing him. Trossard, by the way, is hooping as well. But I don't know. He's a weird player. I need to do a
see
statistical
with
analysis
Brighton,
on Gross. I'm telling you, he's a
Brighton last
mystery
season,
right now.
Them man,
He's
yeah,
playing right
they'll
wing back
give you
against United.
they'll give you 6 games. They'll give you like 6 games over the season where it's like, ooh, but it's like now they've just kind of managed to.
Yeah, they're a good team,
Listen,
man.
man. Early season, you see a lot of these, man. That's all
Yeah.
I know.
That's
as
you have
well.
to sustain it now. That's the problem.
So I'm watching
might
carefully.
get-
It's
you
like,
know them man that-
I'm not investing
The
any
1 month they
stocks
get
in
like a
any
player of the
them.
month. You never see them for like 2 years.
Bruv.
You just have to sustain it now. But no, that's a good one. For time, let's wrap up there.
I'm trying to think. Is there any champs?
I was trying to. Happy birthday, bro! You can be a champ for your birthday.
Merci.
Got a big drop
Like-
coming.
Huh?
Tuesday. Wait for it.
What?
Big drop.
I got
Big drop.
I got a drop tomorrow actually.
What's your drop? Announce it, mate. We'll be out by now.
Yeah, it'll be out by the
little,
time.
little exclusive, little cover story, little thing. Something, right? Anyway, that's another episode. Like, share, subscribe. We're out.
Comment. Algorithm.